Welcome back, everybody, and also would like to say welcome to a lot of my new subscribers. Got several over the past few days. Welcome to the channel. Glad you stopped by. Hope you enjoy the content. Well, my last video, you saw me drag this Champion 20-inch Camelback drill press home. I've been doing a little research. I've got more research to do. It could be as early as the 1890s, which would put it in my grandfather's era. But anyway, yeah, after I finished shooting that video and I got a couple pieces of pipe and rolled it over into the corner here, I discovered I had a critical part missing. If you'll notice on the base, there was something bolted to that boss. And I thought, oh, I know what that is. It's the counterpart to the upper pulley. I thought, wonderful. Man, if I'm missing that, that creates a huge problem. I contacted the seller and explained the situation. And Dave, her hired guy, he went out into the shed that this thing came from, and lo and behold, look what he found. And there's the base. You can see the bolt holes in it. That bolts to the boss back there. Also, this is the belt pulley that originally was driven off an overhead line shaft, either steam powered or hit and miss engine powered at some time in the past. I'm guessing 1920s, maybe 1930s. Somebody converted it to electric motor and put this giant V-belt drive pulley on there, and which I'm not sure if I'm going to go electric motor or if I'm going to go with a big hit and miss gas-powered motor, drive it off of this belt. I don't know. We're just going to see where this takes me. I mean, I've got a lot of restoration work to do on this, cleanup, oiling, missing the cable. Here, goes through the column, down to here, and that, I believe that hooks up to the rack here for raising and lowering the spindle. Not sure. More research to do. Anyway, boy, was that a precious discovery, and I'm sure glad they had it. So what I thought was complete is now complete. Thanks so much to the seller and Dave for taking the time and finding that for me. There was a ton of stuff in that shed. I mean, you wouldn't believe. Anyway, on another note, yeah, it's another February day in Arizona. I think our high is going to be 66 today, 10 to 12 mile an hour breeze. Nothing blowing right now. Perfect day to have the big shop door open. This guy. I told you I really wasn't going to do much featuring of this because I got to do a ton of electrical work to it, and I don't want somebody watching me do electrical work and get some idea that I know what I'm doing. And then I think I mentioned before, I didn't want somebody to tear into something electrical and wind up electrocuting themselves or burning their house down or something. So I'm not featuring any of that. However, these inner flanges were giving me fits. I worked on those for a week trying to get those off of there. I couldn't find a suitable puller anywhere to get those off. I imagine an electric motor shop probably would have something. But my good lifetime buddy who bought the 20 acres next to me and is in the process of building, he's a machinist. We worked at the same shipyard, and went to school together, grew up together. Anyway, I was explaining my problem to him, and he goes, that aluminum flange was most likely heated put on there, and then it was an interference type fit. When it cooled off, it clamped itself to the motor shaft. So what I did, I made me a half moon type of puller tool. This is aluminum, and I'm afraid I may have already distorted it a little bit, but I have a fix for that. There was no way to really get a puller behind it because of this section of the bell right here. What I did was I made this out of 1/8 inch 2/2 circles, and then formed it up in the vise. You can see my layout lines there, and just bent it into a cone shape so it would conform to the back of that inner flange. Then what I did is I wedged this behind the flange with 3 pry bars adjacent to each other, so I could keep even tension on the pulley. Then I took my little propane torch and gently heated, not the shaft, but heated this area of the flange all the way around, because you can see it's got this boss on the back, and I wanted to get heat to transfer into that, expand enough to pop loose. And of course, aluminum expands in heat a whole lot faster than steel. And as I heated that, I went around tapping on each little pry bar. I had a screwdriver stuffed in there, and then a pry bar here and a pry bar here. Went around putting equal tension on those, tapping them in farther, and then pretty soon, pop. It came loose. Was able to get it off of there. Both ends. Hallelujah. I did a happy dance in the shop. So now I can get to these inner screws, pull the bell off, and start disassembling this motor, because this thing has got some, pardon me, shaky cam work, horrible camera work here. This thing, of course, weighs a ton. I've got serious wiring issues. See all that insulation coming off that wire? Well, it's doing that throughout the motor. I mean, not a good thing. Nice blue spark show waiting to happen. And this thing is old enough, it's just a 2-prong plug. This is probably 1950s vintage. None of this case is grounded. Good way to get electrocuted. So when I rewire this, I will add a 3rd leg for ground, and ground all the case. And so it'll be safe to operate, and have new wiring in it and all of that. So yeah, there you go. That's my latest and greatest. Hercules is still sitting there, right where I left it, working on the magneto. Contraption continues to be a storage unit right now. I still got to get to that. You know, as usual, too many projects going at once. But hey, it's all in good fun. I mean, if I wasn't doing this, I'd be sitting in a chair on the porch, which, no, ain't going to happen. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you soon.